Hi, welcome back to our creek. There's been 2 storms now. As you can see behind me, there's been a little bit of things falling and such. I'm going to do some cleaning up here because obstacles like this tree here, this is laying across the water, which is bad news if there's more storms, because more debris will wash down the creek, get caught in this tree and create a dam, which will be really hard to clean up. So today I'm just going to spend a little bit of time getting this out the way of the water. A saw would be my best option, but Dad's been packing his tools away, getting ready to move. So I couldn't find a saw. All I've got is these secateurs and my pocket knife. So I'm just going to see what I can do with those. But yes, let's get started, shall we? The council planted all these flaxes along here. As you can see, they used these lovely non-biodegradable plastic things. So this is going to be here forever. But since the council people who planted them were not locals, they didn't know where to plant them in relation to how the river flows. So pretty much the next rain after it flooded, more than half of the plants had gone. So that was disappointing. Okay, the bits that I'm cutting off won't just go and clog up some other piece of the river, don't worry. The larger pieces we will use for firewood, and the leafy bits Dad will mulch up and we'll put them on the garden. Sorry if all you can hear is me breathing heavily and sniffling. No! I need 3 hands. Whew. Also, I just remembered I'm supposed to be wearing a hat. Sorry, Mum. I don't know if you can see this, but I nearly just fell in. We're almost done. Here's how my tree is looking. That branch, that bottom branch still needs to be sawn, but it's much better. Okay. We're going to our next location. Look, I'm having to hold the tripod. Alright, hold on while I, ouch, get through this very narrow pathway with deep water on the side of it there. Oof. That is a hole. That is blackberry. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ouch. That is a, ow, ow, ow. There's a rather large piece of blackberry there. Oh, my hat's stuck on something. Oh my gosh. I have blackberry on the top of my arm and the blackberry on the bottom of my arm. Just let you, ow, 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 ow. Caress my shoulder. Nearly there. Just gotta find my secateurs. Owie, owie, ow. I hope you're finding this funny. Oh my gosh. I can see my secateurs. They're down there. Oh, this big meaty blackberry branch in the way. Oh my gosh. My foot is stuck. I'm bleeding a bit. Alright, first order of business. Get rid of some of this blackberry. There's some growth rings on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This broom has been here for 6 years. But also, it smells like sweaty armpits. That's a monster piece of blackberry right there. Blackberry, when it scratches you, it's not that bad. The worst part is when you get a piece of blackberry with its spines pointing this way in the top of your arm, and then a piece of blackberry with its spines pointing this way in the bottom of your arm, and then whichever way you move, the spikes are just going deeper into your skin. I think I can still see the red light on my camera, but I don't know how long it's going to keep recording. So I'm going to try and not say anything important. What am I supposed to do now? Goodbye, Blackberry Way. Me back another doubt. Day. There was a piece of blackberry on there, and it spiked me. Is there anything interesting to talk about? What have I been doing recently? I've been playing The Sims, and I'm in a bit of a phase of playing The Sims at the moment, I think, and having a lot of fun with it. So I decided I would treat myself to a DLC pack, because they're on special right now. So I had a little look at them, and I decided to buy the werewolf bundle mostly because of the decorations it comes with. There's cooler clothes, like there's t-shirts that are kind of like band style t-shirts with maybe a little bit of torn sleeve, and the house decorations, there's like some corrugated iron, and you can make super rustic things. But also, because I don't know, werewolves are pretty cool. I've been interested in werewolves for a long time, just as a concept. And I even wrote a book about werewolves when I was about 15 maybe. It wasn't like an entire book with a whole plot start to finish. It was more like a collection of short stories, and each of those short stories had a start and an end. So, shall I tell you about it? Back then, I had no idea about basic rules about making stories and characters. So I actually started off the story with 7 characters, which I ended up having the one main character, and then another one of the characters was like kind of important. They had a role, and then everyone else just sort of took turns to do basically the same stuff. They didn't really have personalities. that world that I developed for them, that became my jam, you know. They were my comfort characters. It was my comfort world. I developed everything. I loved the theme of it. And eventually I actually developed all of the characters enough that their personalities were developed, and I could, if I wrote something that was a little bit out of character, I was like, I wouldn't say that. So anyway, the story is that there's this girl lady. She's like 25, and she is the leader of a group of werewolf hunters, and what they don't know is that she is actually a werewolf. So she has to keep it hidden from them, first of all, and second of all, she's had to develop ways to deal with and resist all the different methods that they use for werewolf hunting, like the herding machines that they use, which is basically like a device that you can stick into the ground, kind of like one of those solar garden lamps, I guess, and it emits high frequency sounds, which werewolves don't like because it hurts their ears, so they run away from it. And obviously, if you're working with those tools and you're a werewolf, it's going to be a bit difficult. Of the first story that I ever wrote, she actually ends up revealing to her group of hunters that she is a werewolf. Not like on purpose kind of situation. It's kind of out of her control. One of the hunters in her group is like a werewolf swatty, and he knows a lot about werewolves. I know, plot hole. How didn't he realise that his boss was a werewolf? But whatever. Everybody's getting a little bit suspicious, okay? And he decides to bring a dog in, because dogs don't like werewolves. So anyway, that's how she got outed. And it took them a while. They were some of them were cross, some of them were scared, and everybody was kind of just a little bit skittish around her for a while she tried to convince them that, first of all, if she'd wanted to hurt them, she would have done it already, you know, blah blah, crusty old trope. And second of all, her special werewolf abilities, you know, enhanced hearing, being able to see in the dark, they were helpful for hunting. And during that book also, one of the group, he's like the loose cannon of the group, he was actually feeding the main character wolfsbane in her coffee, and she was constantly sick and didn't know why, until they found wolfsbane flowers crushed up inside the coffee maker. And obviously the other hunters, being humans, it didn't affect them, but the werewolf, oh yeah, it was not good for her. So at that point, she and the loose cannon guy started becoming a lot more cold towards each other. And in one of the later stories, the guy, his name was Andrew, by the way, just for ease of storytelling, actually gets bitten by a werewolf on one of their hunts, and so much is happening that nobody really notices because he keeps it all to himself. Oh yeah, I freed this root thing, until he decides to sabotage them and lead them to a very dangerous place. And there's a big fight scene, and my main character gets a nice big scar so that I could draw a cool scar on her face every time I drew her. Love that. Gotta be edgy and cool. Alright, gotta come back around. This time I have the secateurs with me. I can remove the blackberry. So anyway, yeah, that was pretty disjointed. I went on a lot of tangents, but basically that's my werewolf story. I haven't read or written in it for years, so maybe I should go back and reread it. Go, ooh, ouch. Gotta show you this. Are we still rolling? We sure are. Okay. Can you see this? The blackberry spikes went into my arm and ripped off the tree. So we've got to pull them out in the direction they went in. Okay, I'm ready for some lunch and a drink of water. I didn't get to finish it all. Ouch, that's a big cut. I made a pretty big dent in it, and even if I can't come back, I think that's okay. Still got to pile those branches up, bring them up for Dad to mulch. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. To be honest, I can't wait to be a suburban kid. Yes, this kind of stuff is fun. I'm ready for a change, TBH. I'm ready to just have a tidy little garden, maybe grow some herbs, you know, like bike around on some concrete and be able to walk to the shops. Can you imagine? It's gonna be so cool. But we have run into some roadblocks, mainly the discrepancies between the value of our property and the cost of the houses in the area that we want to be in. So that's the main issue at the moment. But yeah, we'll work it out. It's gonna happen. Anyway, yep, that's all. Bye.